Hello, boys and girls. It's Mr. True, and I'm back on Earth with another mission. You see, 2 eons ago I received a message from a saint named Maria Bradford, a comedian, Maria Bam Bam, who's a comedian, and this was an eon ago, but she was caught into a bin because she had a problem on stage. And I heard all about it. I came as soon as I could, and I took the wormhole, landed in the ocean near Australia with my bags and all of my tools that I'll show you first to try to rescue her, but she was already okay. So, since I was near Australia, I did not have snowshoes, but I had 2 tennis rackets I put on my feet so I could walk from where I landed in the ocean to Australia. And when I got to a place called it's named after a woman named Vicky who was in charge of a whole country very far away. But they sent their criminals to this little island called Aussie Land. There's an older name, but I can't remember it. There's many of them. Turtle Island might be one, but I think that's to the north. In any event, I landed in the Victorian land and went to a place called Malware. It's the big city under Sydney, which is a sad place that pretends to be happy. Beautiful beaches, but I went farther south to Malwareborn. Malborn. That's a sad name, because malware means software that's bad. So Malborn is like being born bad. It didn't seem that people were that. I didn't understand why they would name it that way. But I don't know if its original name was that, so leave it be. Anyway, I went to one of the prisons there to rescue the people from the Vermicious Knids, which I will describe. But first, you must know the tools I brought. I do not come empty-handed. First of all, of course, I had to clean my nose because of all the pollution on Earth. Wanted to taste all of it. Delicious. And then I had to clean all of my spectacles so that I could see into people's hearts. And then oh, of course, this, that goes without saying. Oh, popping them like candy. Oh, this I brought to calm down all of the people that, oh, let me just show you so you know what I'm talking about. This is it. It helps calm the people down. I distill it. I put it as a thing on my fingers and my palms, and I just shake hands. They don't even know. But half an hour, 45 minutes later, they start to giggle. It's very fun. And then what I do, well, of course, I bring this for broken relationships and broken hearts. I use 2 already on myself, just getting through the wormhole, but whatever gets you through the night, so yeah. And then, what do I have? Oh, the rings of power. This is the most important. I'll begin with the least important one that was discovered somehow by a man who wrote a big book, and they made movies. But it's just a trinket I have that I call it Sauron, and I guess it leaked because a man named, a woman named J.K. rolling down the hill like Jack and Jill, a very long hyphenated name, who wrote a very popular book, also made into a movie or 2 perhaps, all about these wizards and the Ring of Sauron. But of course, it's similar to your cell phone with FaceTime. That's really all it is. And nobody can hear me or see me, but I hear and see everything with the Ring of Sauron. There's much sadness on Earth, so I decided to bring the Ring of Happiness, although it doesn't fully fit me, but I'm not always happy, so I shouldn't. But it's important on Earth. Then, of course, always I travel with the Ring of Love. You can't travel without the Ring of Love. You won't meet anybody. But because I'm coming with the Ring of Love and the glue for broken relationships, of course, I had to bring the Ring of Binding. Bloop, 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 bloop. One must say that when applying the Ring of... Did I say it 7 times? Just in case, must reload, download. Bloop, 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 bloop. Yeah, it's working fine. Because love without binding, ooh, they're so dishonest on Earth when they get married. Frightening, frightening. Here's what they should say. I pledge to be faithful to you until I don't want to anymore. I don't know how long. I didn't know you had a stepsister. Let's talk about it in the morning. That would be more truthful, wouldn't it? Unless, of course, they use the Ring of Binding, which is, of course, commitment. Not in the afterlife, but in life, at least. Leave the afterlife to your reincarnations, of course. But in this life, if you marry, be like the Turtletaubs. One time, that's it. If you can. If you can't, well, you could be like a different animal, perhaps a sloth or a sloth. Well, the most important element I left out, because when I went to the jail, they were going mad, all of them, because they were denied socializing with the sticks of fire. It used to be when I visited this land in eons before that the inmates at the prison had a courtyard outside with broken plastic chairs where they would light sticks on fire and talk. And that was the only therapy they got, because the Vermicious Knids, well, they're just there to keep them from hurting each other or themselves until they can get rid of them so they have another bed. in the room, which is already cramped with farting crazy people. So, the only relief the prisoners had was their time in the yard with the fire sticks. I'm going to show you a fire stick because I want you to know how to use it properly. It's not easy. The first time you will make mistakes, you might cough, and you will not feel the positive effects that it is meant to have. Why don't I show you now? I brought 2 with me to Earth because I might need more than one, but I only have 2 and they're very expensive here, and I did not bring enough money. I was foolish and I brought enough money from the last eon, but now is nothing. Look, $1 is, I can't even use it except put it in a trolley to go shopping for things that I have no money for. So, and anyway, for that, I brought this, which I could use for the trolley, so the down. I'll give it to charity, not that it will matter much, but who knows. In any event, I don't want to waste a fire stick at all because they're very dear to me, but I made a mistake when I first tried it, and I don't want you to make that mistake because of the obvious. You will if I do not explain to you, so for the same reason I did, which I'll also explain to you. See, look at this. Now, logically, look at this. Which end does one put in the mouth? Oh, first of all, it's the mouth. I learned that by observation. If I only had this, I would have thought it fits much better up the nose, could serve the same purpose, but no. I saw a picture that of somebody doing that. The vast majority. No. It's for the mouth. It doesn't seem to fit, but it does, actually, if you let it hang there. See? Very nice. Very comfortable. But did you notice I put the gold part in my mouth, not the other way? Now, why? Logically, the flavor seems to be at this part. This is like a block or something. I'm not sure what the purpose is, but I assumed, knowing its contents after examining it, that it was to ignite the fire stick. Well, now I don't have to show you because I'm explaining sufficiently, because the poof that comes is, and the taste of it. Oh, I did a big inhalation as I watched the other inmates doing, but because I had it ass backwards, it was very unpleasant. It was horrific, and I never, ever want to do it, and I don't want to waste this one. So I will keep it in my mind. I've explained it sufficiently. There's no reason for me to demonstrate. Oh. I forgot I'm in the backwoods world. Oh, that was a fleur de ray. Must have a sip of nectar. You call it coffee? We get it straight from the tree. You grind beans. Very odd. Our coffee's much better than your coffee. Now, this is the proper way to use a fire stick, and you must have one if you want to have conversations with inmates, which is why I brought 2, but now I have 1, and it doesn't matter anyway because they don't allow it at the prison. So, I don't know what helps the patients now, but perhaps they got rid of it because it was helping and the patients weren't so keen to leave as they should be. So they made it even harder so the patients would want to free up the beds and they wouldn't fart up the room as much. It's also important to have fire sticks for the same reason I cleaned my nostrils before I arrived. It helps you tolerate the pollution and it becomes delicious by comparison. Now I feel I must finish because it's very late. It's almost 15 minutes getting back to St. Maria, where we started because walkabouts always come home. And I forgot. Oh, yes. Now I remember. In Malwareborn, there are cat teams about seeking the neurodivergents to capture them into a van with two beautiful women and a large man. The women say, "Come, we are to help you," and the man says, "And if you don't, I will take you." And then at the jail, they're sedated, locked in isolation until it's proven they're harmless, and then they're put in a cell. And the Vermicious Knids, which they call doctors and nurses, because this is the poor jail, these are the worst doctors and the most tired nurses. I don't know what trauma in their life caused them to enter this profession of meddling with minds and drugs, but why ever they have a passion to meddle with people, they don't do a very good job because they don't try, because that's not how this jail, at least, is designed. You see, much like where they lock their old people up here, if you have money, then the doctors love you and treat you with respect, and you have a clean room all to yourself with no other people farting in your face and stinking up the place, no Dutch ovens in a private hospital, and you will get delicious food, but best of all, your family and friends will visit you because it's so nice there. But in the public jails, well, there, it's very different. You get the food you are given, little bits of it. But as I say, nibblies is nibblies. You'll happily eat the grey mush, and you will fight over a television set that has a broken remote control. You will have magazines ripped out of your hands by fellow inmates simply because they don't like you. And you will have some of the Vermicious Knids that St. Maria called psycho-rapists, which I think is a mispronunciation because these are psychiatrists, not psychotherapists. There's no logotherapy, not in the public jail. There's maybe an hour a week, but all that is theirs to make sure you're not about to whoop yourself in the shower. Or there's no closet. But you get the drift, Jack Kerouac. My point is, they took away the fire sticks, only proving the point that they don't care a whit about helping the inmates, but rather just to keep the mill churning and the conveyor belt going so that the lunatic neurodivergents can come in, get a few shots, get a couple of pills, get a few to go, And then, beyond the way, I'll end with this terrifying incident, which is an absolutely true story. I was in Paran, which is a hotbed of neurodivergency, and I found a brilliant scientist squatting on the ground, nursing a cold cuppa coffee in the middle of the night, in the cold, in the winter, in the rain, with no shelter, wet, the rain dripping into his cup, his eyes wild, his clothes askew, smelling a bit of urine. Which is what attracted me from down the block. When I smelled that, I said, there's somebody I must speak to with the ring of love, whoop, without the ring of binding. And I approached him and offered him, magically, that I could produce blankets, hot food, hot drinks, and even shelter nearby, simply across the street, if he followed the light in the shop and opened the door. He would be welcome. There's a comfortable couch he could rest on. There's plenty of food and drink, and even entertainment. But the poor man was afraid, because not only the cats and the Vermicious Knids are about, but young people, men and women, boys and girls, who have drunk from the tree of knowledge as alcohol form and are wandering the streets looking for trouble. So, the more I offered this man, the more frightened he became, until he got up off of his tuchus and scuttled away like a crab. I did not go after him. The cats undoubtedly will find him and put him through the cycle, perhaps. I say perhaps because many of these neurodivergents never get to the jail because they're simply not worth the meds.